Welcome back, everyone. Next, we have Opawica Explorations Inc. Trades on the OTCQB under the symbol OPWEF and on the TSXV under the symbol OPW. It's a junior Canadian exploration company with a strong portfolio of precious and base metal properties within the Rouyn-Noranda region and the Abitibi Gold Belt in Quebec. Please welcome President and CEO Blake Morgan. Welcome to the conference, Blake.
Lovely. Thanks for having me.
Floor is yours.
Beautiful. Well, I appreciate everyone attending. My name's Blake Morgan. I'm the CEO and President of Opawica Explorations. And before we get into the company, we'll have a quick look at the forward-looking statements. Please feel free to read these later down the stage. Okay. So Opawica is a junior miner in the Abitibi Greenstone Belt. The company has assembled a group of structurally controlled gold property targets. These types of gold mineralizations represent the most economically significant gold found in Canada. Our flagship properties are in the Abitibi Greenstone Belt in Rouyn-Noranda camp, so one of the most prolific gold-bearing regions on Earth. And we have the Arrowhead property, the Bazooka property, and the McWaters property. Abitibi is the world's largest mining-rich greenstone geological belt, hosting many major base metal deposits. Gold was found here in the 1800s, and 100 mines have produced an excess of 170 million ounces of gold in the region. So like I said, it's a very, very prolific area, full of majors, full of mines. So the region is it's quite exceptional. Now, I'll go into where we're situated. And we're in the town of Rouyn-Noranda. So what's good about this is we have road, power, and water to all of our properties. The town of Rouyn-Noranda is founded on gold mining. So it's a very gold mining district, very friendly, which is good for when you start to get into the production side of stage when it comes to junior mining. Now, we're only around 7 kilometers from the town of Rouyn-Noranda, which is fantastic. So, you know, our team can stay in the town, which saves us costs on camp and building and stuff like that, keeping our exploration costs very, very low. As you can see from this map here, we're surrounded by some of the biggest majors in the game. So just above the Bazooka property here on the west, we have the Wasamac deposit. It's around 2.7 million ounces and was bought out by Agnico Eagle and will look like it will go into development sometime next year. So a very, very large deposit there. Up near the Arrowhead, we're completely surrounded by Agnico Eagle, and we will also have 5 active mines within 7 kilometers. So we have the IAMGOLD Mooshu mine. We have the LaRonde mine from Agnico Eagle, which is one of the biggest mines in Canada. The Bouquet mine also is right next door to us, and the Westwood mine, which is IAMGOLD. So as you can see, this area is just full of elephants. Basically, it's majors. We're talking a few million ounce deposits, and it basically covers this whole region. Going into the Bazooka property in the Arrowhead, we've spent around $5 million over the last few years on these properties. On the Bazooka property, we've done a wealth of data. So we've got airborne geophysics, downhole geophysics, IP has been done, 3D modeling, full drill hole database, a televiewer data survey, and around 4,000 meters of drilling. Now, I'll get into the bit of the drilling shortly, but we've done the hard work when it comes to the Bazooka property. We've dug deep, we did all the geological stuff, and now we're basically getting into a larger drill program. The plans are simple when it comes to the Bazooka property. We're in the process of getting our drill permits currently, so that's all in with the government. We're very close to getting that and hopefully have some news out soon in regards to that one. The plan is we're going to drill 10,000 meters. Now, we've got 7 kilometers of the Cadillac-Larder fault zone. That's where it holds the most prolific gold areas. We've only explored around 10% of this property. So we still have, 90% to go. We've got around 6 kilometers out of the 7 of the Cadillac-Larder fault zone to explore, which is pretty exciting considering what we've found so far in this small little section. I'll go into some of our previous drill results. As you can see, we've started to target this small area here. That's around 300 to 500 meters. And we've had a few drill holes put in there with some tremendous results. You know, we've got nearly 6 meters at 77 grams, 7.5 meters at 25 grams, 20 meters at 7.7 grams. So as you can see, some really, really big high grade stuff. And then we also have other intercepts of like 40 meters at nearly 2.5 grams. Got about 100 meters at about 1.3 grams. So some bulk tonnage as well as some really, really high grade. Now, as I mentioned before, we've only explored a small area of this property. So what we plan to do with this drill program coming up is we're going to continue to expand on the deposit that we have here. And we're also going to start to work our way down the fault. Now, the reason the team's doing this, if I go back to this slide here, the Yorbo property that's to our east was just recently bought out for $25 million. And it's a very, very similar project to what we have at the Bazooka. Now, they've actually got 3 different satellite deposits as they further move down, and they're starting to join them up now. And that's what we're looking to do. We're going to continue to drill the deposit area that we have, which is here, and then we're going to go further down the fault line and continue to expand on that. Now, we've combined with our Gold Spot. We're using AI technology as well as our own geological teams to really focus in and get a good understanding of what we've got. We've done 3D modeling on these projects. We've got a really good understanding of how the gold mineralization lays. We know which way to target, and now it's about expanding on what we already know is there. So like I mentioned before, some really, really good high grade stuff, power, road, water, which keeps our drilling costs very, very low. We're actually in the process of tendering out drilling currently, and we're getting some phenomenal prices. You know, we're ranging from around $70 a meter to $100 a meter, which is fantastic for us, and it keeps our costs relatively low, which is great. Oops, bear with me, sorry about that. These are some of our drill targets. As you can see, we've got a very happy there gold-bearing region. We put a few holes into this, which has come back pretty fantastic. And we've got a lot of room to expand. This is on the area that we've been drilling currently. This is not including the other 6 kilometers of the fault system. So we'll basically get stuck into this. We'll continue down the fault system. And we're hoping to get some really, really good numbers as we basically get into this property. Now, if I jump back up to this one, bear with me, sorry about that. We also have our Arrowhead property. This property is surrounded by Agnico Eagle. Again, it's road, power, and water. All the power that runs in this region is hydroelectric power, so obviously green friendly, and that's the way the world's turning at the moment. So it's fantastic to have that. We're completely surrounded by Agnico Eagle. Like I mentioned, we have multiple mines right next door, so we know we're in the right region. This is a very, very large deposit area, and we've got some tremendous results on this property as well. We've done a fair bit of work on the Arrowhead. We've done airborne geophysics, downhole geophysics. We've completed nearly 4,000 meters of drilling, and we've done a seismic survey. So the seismic survey, we're one of the first to do it in this region, and it's given us some tremendous results. We can clearly see on this property that we have 3 structures. One's lying around 300 meters, another one is around 500, and then there's another one around the 800 meter to 1,000 meter mark. So that's quite exciting for us, considering the Rouyn property is actually right next door to us, and that was found at around 300 to 500 meters and is now down to around 2 kilometers in depth. So you can see that, you know, not only is there room for east, west, north, and south, but there is definitely room for some in-depth stuff here. What also is exciting is we've recently noticed that Agnico is drilling right on our southern border, and they're drilling some really deep holes. Now, I only mention that is because, again, we're looking to do a 10,000 meter drill program on this property. And as part of that program, we are looking to test the seismic survey at depth. So majority of our holes are around the 300 meter mark, but we do plan to put it 2 1,000 meter holes right next to where Agnico is drilling on our southern border, where the seismic shows we have a couple of different anomalies as we drive down. So we're looking to test that at depth, and we're pretty excited to get stuck into that. Bear with me. Now, if I go down 1 second. These are some of our untested targets. The last time we drilled this property, we got great results, basically hitting gold in nearly every hole we drilled. But it was our first ever drill program on this asset, so it was only a small one just to have a bit of a poke around. Now we've done all the hard work of the downhole geophysics, airborne, televiewer, seismic. We have a really good understanding of what we're doing on this property. So we just recently got our drill permits for 25 drill pads. So we're looking to get started right in the start of the new year is the plan. We've already got our roads already drilled out. Our drill pads are ready to go. So this one's ready to be drilled. The Bazooka property I mentioned before is probably only a week or two behind this one. And the plan is to drill both properties, 10,000 meters each, and really uncover what Opawica has. Now, if I jump into our third property, which is the McWatters property. This property is on the eastern side of the recently bought out Yorbo property for $25 million. Now, it's not our flagship property, but it's still an absolute fantastic asset. Now, we've spent a fair bit of money on this one as well. We've done geophysics, airborne. We've walked the ground. We have an IP on it. It's had a few recent, some historical drill holes on it. As you can see here, it's got some decent numbers, nearly 8 grams at over 3 meters. This isn't our focus currently, but we are doing a little bit of work on the property to get ready for a drill program in the future. We do have around 13 drill targets on the asset. So we'll have a bit more of a look on this as we go on. We have 3 zones we want to tap into, but the focus currently is the Bazooka and the Arrowhead property. So like I mentioned, we're in the right region. We have road, power, and water. Our assets have high-grade gold. We have proven next-door neighbours. We have our costs low. We have a house in the town of Rouyn-Noranda, a 5-bedroom house. So we basically put our whole crew in there. Drillers come to work in the morning. They drive home at night. We get a beautiful 14-hour day out of them, and it keeps our costs really, really low. Now, our share structure is also amazing at Opawica. We only have 33 million shares outstanding. I'm currently the largest shareholder of the company, and I've bought around $1 million of open market buys, all SETI filed in the last 3 years alone. So it shows my commitment to what I think this company is going, and we're looking forward to drilling these projects over the next month or two. We have a fantastic board. You've got myself as CEO and president. I've been taking over this company since 2020. We've raised a bunch of money, and obviously we spent it on the assets with over $5 million worth of work done on the Bazooka and the Arrowhead. We had players like Eric Sprott involved. He put $1 million in a couple of years ago. We have guys involved like the heads of Claris, Canaccord, Leeds. So we have a great institutional base. The 33 million shares that we have out, around 25 million of that is tightly held by institutions. So the float is not that big. And it just shows there's a lot of room to grow in the company. We've only got an $8 million market cap. So there's a lot of upside here. We also have Owen King with us. Owen King used to be a broker at Mackie. He's been in the industry for over 20 years. He's fantastic to have on board. We also have Marcy, our CFO. Marcy's been around for a long time. She's got her own little company she runs there. She's been in the market for 15 years, and she's fantastic as our CFO. And then we have Philippe. Philippe Harvard is in Quebec. He's our French-speaking director, which is fantastic to have. And he has very, very good access to capital in that region, and is very well connected to the Canadian government in Quebec. That is pretty much Opawica in a nutshell. We're in one of the most prolific gold-bearing regions on Earth. Road, power, water to every property. We have some serious high grade. We're surrounded by giants. and we're looking to drill these properties. We've been putting out a lot of news over the last few months. We've got the properties up to a drill-ready stage again. We're very confident on our drill program. We're working with Goldspot with AI technology as well. So we've got a few different ways we're going to traverse this. The Bazooka, like I said, we've got 7 kilometers of the Cadillac-Larder Fault Zone. We've only explored 1 kilometer with tremendous results. The Arrowhead, we've only done a small drill program, which come back very successful. This time when we get into it, you know, a 10,000 meter program will really give us a good look at what we have here. We're already fully permitted for it. We're ready to go. And we're probably going to get stuck into that sometime in January next year is the plan. The Migwaters will do a little bit more work on the property, but we've got a few drill-ready targets, and we'll probably start to look at that a bit more closely sometime next year. Our share structure is top-notch with only 33 million shares out. You've got a CEO who is the major shareholder, who is constantly buying in the open market, shows his belief in the company. And that is basically Opawica Explorations Inc. I'm happy to take a couple of questions. And feel free to reach out to me if you want to know anything more. But I implore you to go and have a look at the company, have a deep dive at the website, and feel free to reach out.
Great. Thank you so much. We do have a few questions. Let's see. Rick wants to know, what is your percentage ownership and what's the total insider ownership?
Yeah, so I own around 15% of the company. Insider total would be around that 20 or maybe 25% range. Then we've got institutions would be about 50%. And then we've got our retail market and float. So around 75, 80% is in very, very close hands.
And Frank asks, he says 33 million shares outstanding. Is that fully diluted shares? And can you discuss funding, cash burn rate?
Yeah, so fully diluted, we're on around 42 million shares. We've recently had some warrants exercised, which is great. We have around 1.5 million in the bank currently. We have an IR payment, which has already been prepaid. So we have around $300,000 for IR, which is going to be fantastic because as we start to drill these properties, we'll be able to get the word out, get people interested in the company. We're currently talking to a couple of institutions to secure the last remaining financing we need to make these drill programs happy. So we're in a really good position at the moment. Our burn rate's not too bad. It's around $350,000 a year. Maybe a little bit more considering we're doing so much work, getting our drill programs, everything ready. But, you know, we're in a really good position. And we also own some shares of other companies worth around $250,000 as well. So we're sitting pretty right now.
And Carlo asks if there are any institutional reports out and where could he see those?
Look, I haven't seen any for a while. We have a few analyst reports at the moment on us, but nothing I can mention off the top of my head. The company's been pretty quiet for the last couple of years. Obviously, the market downturn, COVID hit. So now it's a bit of a rebrand, rebuild, and we're expecting to have some stuff like that come out over the next few months, especially as we go into drilling.
Wonderful. Well, Blake, do you have any closing remarks for our viewers today?
Like I said, it's a company you want to check out. You know, we have a great share structure. We're in one of the best regions on earth. You've got a CEO who is the biggest shareholder, who's constantly buying. This is a company you want to have a look at, especially now as we move towards hopefully 2 major drill programs. You've got gold at nearly all-time highs. I think this is a time to really start to look at the gold stocks.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. And we look forward to following along with you more in the new year.
Well, thank you very much for having me, and we look forward to talking again soon.
All right. Thanks, Blake. All right, everyone. It's been a great long day with our conference. In just a minute, you'll be redirected to the registration page for our next conference in 2025. On behalf of all of us at Emerging Growth, thank you to all of our presenters and attendees for making this such a great success and a successful year. Remember, a complete replay of our conference separated by company is on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Emerging Growth Conference, and follow us on Twitter @Emerging Growth. Wishing everyone a happy and healthy new year, and we'll see you in 2025.